Evening, people, and welcome back to Gav Goes In. Big up yourselves each and every time. Big up to my guy Fitz. Big up Fitz. Big up my guy. Listen, guys, I'm gonna get it started off right now. Again, make sure you're getting your vote in. Yeah. So we're gonna start off on a little poll. So obviously, as you guys know, um, today is gonna be discussing Ruben Amorim'S short and long term targets for Manchester United. So again, let me know what you guys are thinking. So I'm going to put the question up now. Let's get it started off. Spare me 1 minute. Let's see this. So yeah, make sure you guys are voting. Just give me 1 minute. Right, so let's see what you guys are thinking. So let's start the poll right now. Big up to all the mods. Big up to Aesthetic as well. So, guys, make sure you're voting. So, how many points in the next 8 games for Man United under Ruben Amorim? Make sure you're voting, guys. Let's see where we are at in this. Big up to Barbara Joseph. Big up to Daniela Iacona as well. Big up yourselves. Hello, buddy. Did you see the Barcelona? No, sorry, the Bayern Munich versus PSG. What's your opinion? Yeah, you know what? I watched the game. I watched the first half because I didn't realize that the Liverpool and Real Madrid game was on, and that game looked like for me a more exciting game. What I would say, obviously Bayern won the game 2-1. Luis Diaz getting both of the goals and getting sent off. What I would say is Bayern Munich, to be honest with you, and rightfully so right now, can be considered as one of the favourites. If you look at the job that Vincent Kompany is doing there, they've got, for me, the best striker, probably along with Haaland right now in the world, which is no surprise in Harry Kane. You look at Elise, you look at Diaz gets goals as well. You got Musiala to come back, Alphonso Davies to come back, the experience of Manuel Neuer in goal. Upamecano looks different this season alongside Jonathan Tah, Joshua Kimmich in the midfield with Pavlovic. So again, listen, man, Bayern Munich are looking good. PSG for me, injuries to Hakimi and Dembele, which again, hopefully it's not too serious, but they're two of their best players. But what I would say is it is still early days for me. You look at Bayern, you look at Arsenal. Obviously, those are the top 2 at the moment on 12 points. I wouldn't say there's much to read into after 4 games. But for me, definitely, Bayern do look strong, and when you've got 2 players that are 2 starters in Musiala and Alphonso Davies to come back, that will strengthen that team. I mean, they can only get better, really. So yeah, but as I say, I think it's early days, man. But At the moment, 12 points, four wins out of four. You can't really complain. PSG for me at the moment, I still think PSG are not really firing. As I said, they got a few injuries to a few key players. They are top of Liga at the moment, but it's a tight race between them, Marseille and Monaco, who I expect to be the top three. Champions League again, they haven't had it their own way. But as I said, it's early days, man. Early days to see what happens. Guys, make sure we're voting. So how many points in the next 8 games for Man United? So far we've got 10. We've got 25% on 10, 75% on 12. I'll tell you my one. Me personally, 15 points. I'm looking at 15 points. And we'll go through some of the fixtures, which is part of the short-term targets for Ruben Amorim, and then we'll go on to the long-term targets. Big up, guys. Big up. Big up to Barbara Joseph as well for the super sticker. Much appreciated. So I think 13, 3 against Everton, 1 at Palace, 3 against West Ham, 1 against Bournemouth because we're at home. Same with Newcastle and a point at Villa. Okay, so I'm going to go through some of the fixtures, guys, because for me, I think 15 points is more than enough for him to get in the next 8 games. So again, if we start off on Saturday against Spurs, and guys, this tomorrow, obviously, we'll be doing our match preview for the Spurs game. So we look at both teams, how they're potentially going to line up. And for me, it's a must-win game. So that's kind of giving it away at the moment as to how I'm kind of seeing it. So for me, I think purely based on the fact that United drew to Nottingham Forest, I think United can't afford to go into this game against Tottenham with anything less than 3 points. I think if you look at the way Tottenham have been playing lately in the league, they haven't been great. I mean, they are organised, but attacking-wise, they haven't been great. I think a lot of the emphasis is on Mohamed Kudus, and if Kudus isn't really doing too much, they're not really doing too much going forward. I think defensively, I like Van der Ven. I mean, Van der Ven's goal the other day, I mean, that's Van der Ven. He's done something very similar before. If you look at the goal that they scored at Old Trafford, Tottenham, it was quite a similar run. This time he finished it off himself. But I think the game against Tottenham for me is a must-win for Manchester United. I don't think Man United can be going into this game with anything less than targeting 3 points. I think away from home it's going to be difficult, but I'm looking at that as 3 points. So that's 3 points there against Spurs. I think because United are at home against Everton, and let's look at the days in between, the rest days as well. So I'm looking at all the rest days. So obviously after this game is the international break. And then you got Everton on the 24th of November. And then Palace, in 6 days' time on the 30th. West Ham, 5 days later on the 4th of December. Then you got 4 days later, you got Wolves. 4 days after that, Bournemouth. And then you got 7-day rest, nice little week rest. I believe Carabao Cup might be in between there against Aston Villa away, which will be difficult. And then obviously just after Christmas on the 26th of December, you got Newcastle. So again, 8 games there, 15 points. I think that is fair. I think anyone that thinks, and again, I'm looking at some of you guys for your voting right now. I haven't seen no one put 15 or 18. I think 18, he's definitely not going to get 18. And again, 18 might be seen as a bit, too harsh, really. But I think 15's fair. So I'm looking at Spurs 3 points. I think at home to Everton, that has to be 3 points for me. Palace away. I'll be happy with Palace away because Palace are a very good team. If United manage to pick up a point against Palace, then I think 7 points from them 3 games. I think that is acceptable. 7 points from them 3 games. I think West Ham at home, you have to be targeting 3 points. You have to be targeting 3 points at West Ham at home. You know, West Ham haven't been great. You know, they're still in the bottom. I think they might be still in the bottom three as well. So by the time that West Ham game comes around, 7 points, and then definitely get the 3 points there, 10 points. You know, so I think 10 points from 4 games, those first 4 games is more than enough. The Wolves away now. I think if we're being honest, Man United, you know, you think of Matthias Cunha going back to Wolves as well, who'd want to put on a show. I think 3 points against Wolves, you know, it has to be done as well. I think Wolves already, you know, are looking like they're going to go down. So I think Wolves will be 3 points. So again, you're looking at 13 points from the first 5 games. I mean, is anyone thinking that that is harsh for Amorim to get 13 points if he's still here in the first in the 5 games? Spurs, Everton, Palace, West Ham, and Wolves. I think that's more than enough. And then the 3 tougher games, you know, you got Bournemouth, Villa, and Newcastle. You know, so Bournemouth at home, Villa away, and Newcastle at home. I think if United can pick up 2 points from either of those 3 games, that's your 18 points. So sorry, your 15 points. So again, 15 points from 8 games for me is more than enough. You know, I'm looking at the chat now and I'm seeing 50-50 for 10 points and 12 points. And for me, I think that is a load of the standards, if I'm honest. Because really what we're saying is that you're only looking at wins if you're looking at 10 points against West Ham, Wolves, and Everton, and then a point against Spurs. So again, if people are saying 10 points, I want to know why you're saying 10 points. Give me the list of games. Let's see. So 3 against Everton. Yep, I would agree with that. 1 at Palace. I think that's doable. That's the same as me. 3 against West Ham. And then 1 against Bournemouth because we're at home, and same with Newcastle and a point at Villa. So that means the Spurs game, well, are we just writing off the Spurs game then? Is that what it is? Because as I said, I think 15 points is more than enough. You know, and again, that's the short-term target for me for Ruben Amorim. I'll be very surprised if United don't if a lot of United fans think that, you know, anything less than 15 points is acceptable. You know, and again, I'll just look at this and say, it's just a lowering of the standards each and every time. Because I honestly thought that coming into this chat, you know, a lot of you would have said, you know, 12 points, which I think should be higher. But to think that we've got 67% saying 10 points, please put in the chat, guys, to let me know why you think it should be 10 points. Because I think that's low. Looking at the amount of money that's been spent on the squad, you know, looking at some of the players that we have, to think 10 points, I think that's shocking. You know, I think that's shocking personally. So when you reckon they will win their next title, United? Again, it's good because this is the long term. This is the long term plan that I'm looking at. You know, so I remember having a discussion with a friend, and he said to me, when do you think United should be able to win the title? You know, and he was saying 4 years, maybe longer than that. You know, me personally, I don't think United are too far away from winning the title. You know, I don't think they are. I think what's stopping us from winning the title, definitely the manager, because I look at his selection, his team selection, his formation, as you guys already know. That is a major factor as to why that's going to hold us back for me. You know, you can say the infrastructure, but the infrastructure is being built. You know, so I'm kind of content with that. Man United have shown that they are spending money, so there's a lot of fans that think that, you know, we need to spend more and more money, which again I agree to, but we have spent money. The problem is we've been spending money poorly. I would say since Ineos has come in, you know, they've only probably made one bad signing, and that is Manuel Ugarte. You know, again, I didn't really want Sesko, but thinking that we've got Sesko and there's no Hoyland, you know, that's a good deal now for me. So I think they are looking to spend in the right way for me, and they are looking at identifying better players, because the same can't be said, you know, for other managers or for the regime, how it has been going. So yeah, for me, where do I think Manchester United? When do I think Man United win the title? Again, it might surprise a few of you, but I'm gonna say within the next 2 years. I think the next 2 years United are able to win a title, and I'm basing that off the money that we're spending, but I'm also basing it off if there's a change in manager. You know, I think Ruben Amorim's long-term targets for me would be to integrate more of the younger players. You know, to make United a top 4 team consistently within the next 2 years, if he is still here. And then the style of play is a massive thing for me. The style of play, because again, I don't see no style of play. This manager's been here now for what, a year, but I don't see no style of play under this manager. So yeah, I just don't see it, man. I don't see it. I don't see what he's trying to accomplish, because in a way, he's already told us, you know, he adapts to whatever team he plays. Now, for me, that's a massive problem, because at a club like Manchester United, with the amount of money that's being spent, you shouldn't really be adapting to any other team. Like, if you're in the Champions League, yeah, and you're playing the likes of a PSG, or you're playing, you know, the likes of a Barcelona, Real Madrid, I understand, like, adapting. You know, there are going to be little tweaks that you are going to make, because those teams have some of the best players in the world. So you are going to adapt certain things. But to think that this manager has said that he adapts to the opposition, I can't think of any fan that thinks that is a positive, because for me it's not. You know, at a club like Manchester United, they should be adapting to us. You know, we're playing one game a week, and it shouldn't be a case where he's having to adapt because he's thinking of the strengths that the other teams have. You know, and again, that's another lowering of the standards for me, because that should never be the case. You know, so the style of play, as I say, is a massive thing for me. You know, we're not a possession-based team. All I'm seeing, and it's no different from what I was seeing under Ten Hag, really, you know, Man United are a team that have technicians there, but we're too interested in playing long ball or playing without the ball. You know, how Man United have gone from a team that dominates the opposition to being a team that doesn't really mind playing on the counter attack. You know, I never thought I'd see it, but it all depends on the managers you bring in, and this is why I just need a manager that wants to play possession based, because Man United don't play possession based, because the players that Amorim picks will let you know that he's not interested in playing possession based. You know, and for me, if you look at all the best teams in the world, you know, or the teams that have won the Premier League, if you look at who's won the Premier League over the last, what, 5 to 6 seasons, it's been United, it's been City and Liverpool. Yeah, those teams dominate possession 9 times out of 10. You know, and for me, if Manchester United want to get back to being a consistent team in the top 4, you know, it's not going to happen by playing counter-attack football. It's not. You know, just go through his whole team. You know, you've got a midfield 2 of Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. You know, they're not both. They're 2 players that are not really they're not possession based. They're not. Amad Diallo's possession based. Cunha's possession based. Embuemo, I think Embuemo can be, but I think from what I've seen of Embuemo, even at Brentford, he's more effective without the ball. Joshua Zirkzee is possession based, but he doesn't play in this manager. Kobe Minu he doesn't play under this manager. Benjamin Sesko, I think Benjamin Sesko is probably in the mold of a Embuemo, but can probably adapt to being possession based. So again, you've got the majority of the players that are not even possession based at this club. So as I said, man, unless things change, I just don't see, I just don't see the vision for this manager and his team. But I look at the players that we have, and I believe inside 2 seasons, we should at least be a top. Well, I'm gonna say it now. Inside 2 seasons, top 4 is a minimum, and then I'm gonna say challenging for the Premier League title within 2 seasons. I don't think that's optimistic. I don't, because as I said, we are showing that we do spend money, and I'm looking at the players we've got already. You go through the whole team. At the moment we've got a stable keeper in Senna Lamens. Again, he will have tough times ahead. The Licks and Euro, I think as a pairing and as 2 players at the club, you've got two of the best defenders for me in the league, no doubt. I think the Licks right now is probably for me the best defender in Europe right now. Probably alongside Gabriel. Lenny Yoro for me potentially is one of the best young defenders in the world. So you've got 2 players there that will definitely figure in Man United's future, without no doubt. Patrick Dorgu for me, I think he's better as a left back. As I said previously, for me he's Bayern Munich's answer to Alphonso Davies if you play him at left back, and again he has room to grow. You got the experience of Mazraoui as well. Midfield's a problem, as we know, but Kobe Minu for me needs to be getting more game time. Obviously, there is talk about Kobe being moved on. He wants to leave. I'm not so sure that happens still. I still think a lot of it depends on how the vision is with the manager, because can I think of a world where they're going to move on Kobe Minu in favour of Ruben Amorim? I still don't believe that happens, because to think what Amorim has failed so far at this club, why would you place your trust in a manager like that and disregard a younger player that has shown, that he has got what it takes to be a future Manchester United player, But I look at Kobe as definitely one for the future for this team. Ahmad, of course, Cunha, Embuemo, Zirkzee, Sesko. So again, the nucleus of that squad, that's probably over 8 players there that you can build something with in the future. And then you look at the younger players that are not even getting a look in. You look at Sekou Kone. There's talk about Shea Lacey, JJ Gabriel. All these players that could, form part of the squad. Aiden Heaven, maybe Cheeto. They've just signed that Christian Orozco as well. There's players there, that could feature in the squad. Who knows? But as I said, man, I just need to see a clear vision with this team, because I just don't believe in how this team plays. I think sometimes as well, I'm going through the motions watching this team, because it's like I look at the squad and I think, we are capable of top 4 right now. You can see the league, we are. But under this manager, we're not going to be top 4. We're not, because he just hasn't got what it takes, But I'm looking at a longer term vision with probably how Ineos see Ruben Amorim. And I'll be very surprised within 2 years if they're not looking at Amorim as getting this team competing in the top 4. Because I think top 4, it should be now. People might think you're crazy, or how can we be top 4? And again, it's a lowering of the standards, So the Standards are already in hell with the devil on our crest, with Ruben at the helm. And again, I can't disagree because put it this way, yeah. If we had, if Man United had, let's say, with the squad we have, even if you look at previous managers, you know, if you had a Jose Mourinho or you had a Louis van Gaal, I don't think there's any fan out there that would say that this club can't get into the top four right now. I don't think. I think it's purely down to the manager. Purely down to the manager. So again, I'm not going to lower my standards, and it's good that some of you are not lowering your standards. But just going by the poll, and again, there's 14 votes, and the majority think 10 points in the next 8 games. Me personally, I think that's poor. I think that is poor to get 10 points in the next 8 games. And if he does get 10 points in the next 8 games, I think serious questions have to be asked. I do, because, you know, I'm not going to say they should sack him because, again, you guys know my faults anyway. The fact that he's still here is a joke, you know what I mean? But if he was to get 10 points in 8 games and fans think that is acceptable, then, again, as a football club, you'd have to say we're finished, you know, because I think we're finished anyway, personally, under this manager, you know. So, yeah, I just think we need to just up the standards, man. 15 points is more than capable. Again, look at the home fixtures: Everton, West Ham, Bournemouth, and Newcastle. You know, I think from those 4 games, I would expect at least 6 points, 6 points minimum. And you're looking at Everton and West Ham as the 6 points. But I think Newcastle, Bournemouth at home, United can pick up another 3 points there. You know, I'm not saying they should be winning the majority of them games, but 15 points with a couple of draws in there, I would definitely expect that. You know, and again, I don't think that is I don't think that's impossible to do. You should make less than 10 as an option too. Nah, listen, there's no way I'm making less than 10. If Man United get less than 10 points, then how can you justify keeping this manager? And again, I don't really want to get into this conversation because the fact that I'm still saying how this manager's still here is part of the problem. But if Man United get less than 10 points in their next 8 games, then we're in hell. Like, I'm not sure what to say, because that for me shouldn't even be a possibility, to get less than 10 points in the next 8 games. That's impossible. You know, again, look at the fixtures. You know, Spurs, Everton, Palace, West Ham, Wolves, Bournemouth, Villa, Newcastle. There's definitely more than 10 points there. You know, and as a Man United fan, I will be disgusted if Man United don't get more than 10 points, man, from 8 games. There's no way I'd accept that. You know what I mean? So yeah, standards are low for me because I haven't seen enough from Amorim or his selections / tactics to have true belief. But again, he hasn't shown anything really. And what we have to look at is these players are getting him through the games. I haven't seen anything tactically from this manager since he's come here to suggest that he's getting United over the line. As we know, his substitutions are the worst that I've seen. You know, that the very fact that he didn't make an attacking sub against Nottingham Forest, you know, I think needs to be studied even more, because you would have thought he's actually winning the game. And even if you're winning the game, you still have to make an attacking sub. You know, try and change the direction of the game. But to think that United were losing the game or drawing the game, and he didn't even make an attacking sub and brings on 2 defenders, like, that's just taking the piss for me. So, yeah, again, man, it's ridiculous. But yeah, why do we expect any different? Because he hasn't shown us any different. So, so top 4 replacing who? So in the next 2 years for me, top 4 would be a possibility. You know, Top four is a possibility this season. Just look at the amount of money we've spent. Like, who spent more money than us this in the Premier League this season? You could probably only say what? Possibly Arsenal, I would say. Man City. Liverpool. So yeah, the three teams are like Man United have brought in what? 4 players: Lamens, Sesko, Embuemo, and Cunha. You know, 3 attackers, 1 goalkeeper. So for me, how much did some of them cost? I think Embuemo and Cunha were in the 60s. That's about 120. Just over 120. What was Sesko? Sesko was about the same, about 60. You know, so, and then Lamens was, how much was Lamens? About what? 20, 30 mil, I think he might have been. So again, Man United have spent money. So to say that we can't get in the top 4, I think people are only saying that because of who's in charge. You know what I mean? So to replace who? Well, obviously the obvious replacements you're looking at: City, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Arsenal. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and say that we can't replace those teams because, like, we've already seen start of the season. Some people were saying that United played Arsenal off the park in the first game of the season. So, you know, I know Arsenal are top, but do I think Man United are a million miles away from Arsenal? No, I don't. I don't think they are. I just think that we've got a manager that is an inept manager with his system where he doesn't want to get the best players on the pitch really, and all he wants to do is play without the ball from what I'm seeing. So yeah, why can't we displace Arsenal? Why can't we? Why can't we displace Chelsea? You know, because I'm telling you this now. You put a better manager in place. I don't think people are saying we can't get top 4. And again, I just think that's just lowering the standards. And for me, I definitely think within the next 2 years, top 4 should be a minimum requirement. 100%. So you don't rate Martinez. I think on the ball, Lisandro is decent on the ball. But what we need to remember, this 3 at the back system doesn't get the best out of Lisandro Martinez. Because if you're going to play Lisandro as the left-sided centre-back, he's vulnerable in the wide areas because he hasn't got the pace. You know, if you're looking at the diagonals as well that the other teams might play, you know, obviously he isn't the biggest, so he could lose the aerial duels as well. But for me, the reason why I'd say Luke Shaw over Martinez is because Luke Shaw's quicker than Martinez. And I think he's more, well, he's better in the air as well. Yeah, he's better in the air than Luke Shaw. And he's quicker in the wider areas. I think if Martinez comes back, you know, as I said, on the ball, Martinez is decent on the ball. He is. You know, he can step into the midfield as well, you know, and play those defense splitting balls. But what I would say is, he's a problem in the wider areas because you think of in the wider areas, you need to have pace in the wide areas. And he hasn't got that. You know, yes, he's competitive, but I think he could be a problem. You know, he could be a problem. I think if you're going to play a 4 at the back, again, he can play left-sided centre-back or as a left-back. But I do think there's better options, you know. And again, I do like left-sided players on the left side. But if you play 4 at the back, Yoro and De Ligt, for me, is the favoured partnership, without doubt. You've got Aiden Heaven as well. You know, Aiden Heaven's a very good player for me, and he's someone that should be featuring a lot more. As I said, Luke Shaw, who's still there, you know, can play the same roles as what Martinez does. But I think Martinez gets moved on within the next couple of years. Maybe the next year, who knows? So, So Arsenal is going to be 8 points clear at the top after the weekend after City draw with Liverpool. I think City win that. I think City beat Liverpool at home. Yeah, I just see City winning that game. You know, as I said, don't rule out City. Arsenal got a tough game as well, a tough game away at Sunderland as well. You know, don't be surprised if that game's a draw. Arsenal and Sunderland. Don't be surprised. So who do you think finishes higher, Chelsea, United, and or Tottenham? Me personally, Man United should be finishing higher than both of them teams. They should be. I'm looking at the squad of players that we have, because let's face it, yeah, Chelsea haven't really, like, in terms of Chelsea's investment, yeah, Chelsea haven't really got a great team. I think if you take out, obviously Cole Palmer's injured, you take out Caicedo, and Reece James and Cucurella, I would say Wesley Fofana, they're their key players to me. Cucurella, Fofana, if he can stay fit, Reece James, Moises Caicedo, and Cole Palmer. You know, you take out those players, I don't think Chelsea are great. You know, and I look at Man United, again, we've already mentioned De Ligt, Euro, Ahmad, Mbuemo, Cunha. You know, I'm looking at those players especially, and those players have a lot more than if you're taking out what Chelsea have. So I definitely think we can finish above Chelsea and Tottenham. Do I think we will under this manager? No, I don't. And this is the problem. We're capable of finishing above them, but we won't under this manager, in my opinion, because he just hasn't got what it takes. So yeah. Guys, come on, make sure we're voting on the poll. So there's 19 votes, so 63% of you say 10, 26% say 12, 11% say 15, and 0% say 18. And again, the 18 points out of 8 games. Again, I don't expect United to get that, and as I say, I think that is a bit difficult to do. But then 15, I think, is more than enough, as I said. You know, the fact that we got the majority saying 10, it just shows you, man. It's poor, really, for me. So Man United can beat Newcastle. Yeah, I believe we can. I believe we can. Do I think we beat you guys at home? I'm not sure. And that is the truth. You know, I think the best we can probably hope for is a draw. Because I don't believe, I mean, as I said, United went on, 3 games, 1 in a row. And then you think of the Nottingham Forest game. That's all of a sudden, you know, put United back to reality, as what I said straight after the game. And again, we got Tottenham at 12:30, kickoff at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That has to be a win. Has to be a win. I don't think we can settle for anything less than 3 points. Personally, you know, but who knows? Big up to Chrism. Big up. Chelsea got put in a carrier bag yesterday. Yeah, 2-2, man. Garnacho coming off the bench to score as well. Yeah, he's poor though, Garnacho, man. He's poor. So Chelsea need Villas, Martinez, or they might not even get top 4. That's how strong the Prem is this season. Yeah, I mean, Aston Villa are not going to sell Emiliano Martinez. And again, don't rule out Aston Villa. What? Aston Villa have had what? Apart from that Liverpool game, I think they had 4 wins on the bounce. And again, all it shows you is that if any team puts together two wins in a row, you know, you're going to shoot up that table. So, yeah, man, I wouldn't rule them out. And again, they're not going to sell their goalkeeper, their first choice goalkeeper, to a team that they think that they can rival for a top 4 place. It's not going to happen. We should be beating Tottenham. We should, but I don't think we will. That's the problem. You know, I'll be like, again, it has to be 3 points, but I don't think we get 3 points. You know, I don't think we do, man. So yeah, this is the problem, man. This is the massive problem with this team and this manager. Speaking of yesterday, City look very strong. They do, man. They do. I mean, look at Phil Foden now. And what I would say about Phil Foden, yeah, I'm a massive fan of Foden. I think Foden's a very good player. He always has been, yeah. But it does show you in football, yeah, that there's certain players that don't need to put in too many good performances for the narrative to swing. That's what I will tell you. And again, that's not taking nothing away from Phil Foden, yeah, because I rate Foden. I do. And Foden, for me, should be in the England squad. But the problem is, the fact that he's playing centrally now as well, in a free, Thomas Tuchel's not going to play him there. So, in a sense, that is where you get the best from Foden, playing centrally. But the problem is, he's not going to play Foden as a central player in a free. So it now means Foden has to contend for a place out wide or in the 10. Now, the thing is, there's too many players probably in Thomas Tuchel's thinking that are ahead of him. So again, Foden getting called up, I think Foden should only really get called up if Tuchel's going to play him in a position where he's playing now for Man City. But if you look at how he's been playing lately, he has been playing very well. But as I said, there's some players that don't have to do too much for the media to get back on their side and start hyping it up. You know, and that's you know what I mean? That is that's what's going on. But yeah, City do look strong, man. You know, Haaland's just not stopping. What's he got? 27 goals in all comps already. You know, he's on course to get a 50-goal a season. He's on course for that. You know, if you go through City's team as well, you know, look at Matthias Nunez at right back. You know, the guy's a central midfielder, and he's looking like the answer to their right back problems right now because he's been decent. You know, massive fan of Gavardio. You know, again, centre back who can play left back. You know, Diaz looks like he's coming back to form. John Stones is back now as well. Donnarumma's been a difference maker at the back for them. Like Donnarumma's a massive difference for them. You know, and he's going to be a key reason why they go and win the title for me. You know, Reinders in midfield's got the energy. You know, he's got quality in there as well. Again, Rodri needs to come back. If Rodri comes back and stays fit, again, he's a game changer. You know, Foden we spoke about already. I mean, Ryan Cherky. The fact that he's got the number 10 on his back, taking it from Jack Grealish, he's going to be their sort of maverick Jack Grealish. You know, I like Savinho, but Savinho needs to get consistent form. Haaland we spoke about already. Marmoush is gonna have a good season for me. He's gonna chip in with goals. I mean, Doku's been a lot better. He's been a lot better. I'm not a massive fan of Doku, but he does offer them something different out there with his pace and the fact that he wants to take his man on. So yeah, listen, they've got some players there. They've got players there that are in form. Nico Gonzalez coming in as well. You know, he's been decent. You know, do City go into the market though in January? That's what I want to know. You know, I can't see them buying anyone in January, but you just don't know. So as I said, man, they're looking strong, and I'm gonna say I think they win this game against Liverpool 2-1 at the Etihad. I'm gonna say 2-1. I agree. Foden's the golden boy for club, not for country. I agree. I agree. And the reason for that is because Man City play in a way that suits Phil Foden's strengths. You know, international football's not really like that. You know, international football really should be because you're not with because as a coach, because you're not with the players all the time. You know, it's about devising a system that gets your most talented players on the pitch. You know, because you don't really have too much time with the players. So this is why someone like Foden struggles, because international football, I would say, is more about the individual, and the fact that Foden's got individual qualities, but he's more of a system player, which is why he thrives at Man City. But if you look at the England national team, he ain't really going to be getting too many games for me. I mean, personally, I would always find a way for a player of his ability, but we know Tuchel's not going to do that. He's not going to play him in the free, you know. And as I said, if you're looking at on the right where he can play, I think there's too many players ahead of him. You think of Palmer, Saka out there. You got Bowen, Madueke as well, who's out injured. I think they're all ahead of Foden in terms of the role that those players would play for England. And then obviously in the 10, as I said, man, you've got loads of players. You've got Eze, you've got Morgan Rogers, Gibbs White, Palmer can play in there. People want to play Bellingham there as well. So yeah, man, it's gonna be difficult, man, but he's a good player. What's your opinion for January transfer market? Who's transfer market? Man United? What team? Right, guys, 21 votes. Let's make sure we're voting. So 15 points from next 8 games, 10%, 12, 24, 12 points, 24%. And then by a long way, 10 points, 67%. So the majority of you think 10 points is acceptable for Manchester United in their next 8 games. I ain't gonna lie, I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised. So but again, it's your vote, so but I'm definitely surprised, man. 100% I'm surprised in that one. So if we compare academies over the last 35 years, United destroy Arsenal. Oh yeah, of course, of course. Of course. I mean, if you look at academy over the last 35 years, Arsenal have only brought through who? Ashley Cole, Saka. If we're talking about regular players in the first team, Ashley Cole, Bukayo Saka. Who else is there? Jack Wilshere. So Ashley Cole, Bukayo Saka, Jack Wilshere. They're the only 3 players that I can remember. Oh, what's his name? Kieran Gibbs as well. So really 4 players that have been regular players from Arsenal's academy into the first team. 4 players, I would say. Again, if there's more, put that in the chat. Bentner. Bentner was bought. I mean, if we're saying youngsters that were bought from other clubs, then you could include that. But if we're saying born and bred, from Hale End, you might say, that are regular players into the first team, there's only really 4 I can think of. Kieran Gibbs, Bukayo Saka, Jack Wilshere, and Ashley Cole. Tony Adams. Yeah, but that wasn't 35 years ago. Surely not. Was that 35 years ago? Yeah, it probably was actually. So, okay, so Tony Adams. Who else we saying? So five players, yeah, that Arsenal have brought through since in the last 35 years that have come through the youth. Ray Parlour. All right, Ray Parlour. Cool. So 6 players, yeah? Anyone else? We got 6 players that Arsenal have brought through the youth in the last 35 years. Six players ain't great. Let's be honest. It's not great. It isn't great. I think Man United can do that within like Man United can do that within like 1 year. I think. Like you look at the Neville brothers, Giggs, Scholes, Beckham. You know what I mean? It's a wrap already. So guys, if there's anyone else I've missed off, we got Ray Parlour, Tony Adams, Ashley Cole 3, Jack Wilshere 4, Bukayo Saka 5, Kieran Gibbs 6. Have I missed anyone? So 6 players, yeah? Okay. So again, United have got Beckham, the Nevilles, Scholes, Nicky Butt. That's 5. Who else was there? Kobe Minu 6, Marcus Rashford 7, Mason Greenwood 8, Danny Welbeck 9. Who else was there? Tom Cleverley, big up Fitz. Tom Cleverley 10. Oh yeah, Chrism says Iwobi. Okay, 7. McTominay 11. Who else is there? That's where there's more as well. So United have brought through 11 players. Am I right there? Yeah, yeah. Done Rashford already. Oh, well, I mean, yeah, I mean Angel Gomez you can say, but he wasn't a regular. I'm going to talk about regular players. So United have got 11 players that were regulars in the first team. To Arsenal's 7. Wes Brown 12. There we go. Big up to Valley Android. Pogba, but are we talking about players that were bought from young, or that just come straight through the academy? So 12. I'll say 12 then. 12. If you want to include Pogba, that'll be 12. Because he was there very young. Yeah, Pogba, you can say 12. Giggs. Did we do Giggs? I think Giggs is done already, I think. Oh, Lee Sharp. Lee Sharp, another one, 13. Done Nicky Butt. John O'Shea. Listen, let's stop now, guys. It's a wrap, man. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Let's stop there, man. We're getting too carried away, man. Arsenal have 7. I've lost count with United, 15. Maybe more. So that's a wrap, man. Let's move on, man. Let's move on. It's getting embarrassing now. Let's move on. If you want to count Cristiano as well, nah, we can't count Cristiano, man. We can't do that. But yeah, let's move on, man. It's a wrap. Let's go through. Hey, do you think West Ham get relegated? You know what? It's difficult. I'll tell you why it's difficult, yeah, because I think West Ham have got 2 players for me in Paqueta and Bowen, where I think if they lose one of them, I like Somerville as well. I think Somerville's been good for them. But I think if they lose one of them, which I don't expect them to lose Bowen, But Paqueta's one to watch because, as I said the other day, yeah, Paqueta for me, he's a Champions League player for me. He is. And I done a stream the other day about saying I would like Paqueta to come to United. You know, not in this system in the two, but for me, he's definitely someone that should be playing for one of the best teams in the league. You know, maybe that's a possibility in January. But I think if they get rid of if they lose Paqueta in January, you know, Bowen's not going anywhere because again for so many reasons, you know. But if they was to lose Paqueta, then I'll possibly say they could be in trouble. They could be. But I think if we're looking at the fact that Wolves have got 2 points from their first 10 games, that is poor. You know, you're probably going to say they're already down. And then the next two teams, you know, who's down there at the moment? Is Nottingham Forest down there? I can't remember. Who's down there at the moment? Can't remember the teams that are down there, but oh yeah, Wolves are going down at the moment as it stands, man. They're gonna have to have a massive upturn in results, man, for anything to change. But I think as it stands right now, it is gonna be difficult for it will be difficult for West Ham. But I think Bowen and Paqueta are massive for them, and if they keep both of them to the end of the season, then I think West Ham stay up. Yeah, so yeah, listen, Paqueta does want to leave, but you can see why he does want to leave. He's what, 28? You know, he's coming into his prime years, and he's definitely a player that should be playing for one of the best teams in the leagues. He should be. You know, I said the other day, and it's funny that he scored against the team that I was talking about. Newcastle would actually be a good move for him. You know, if you think of Bruno Guimaraes and they've got Joe Linton, his two compatriots there, you know, and they could have the option of playing him. Imagine if they got Paqueta, yeah, and they've got four midfielders in Paqueta, Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes, and Joe Linton. That is a great four to have. And then they can always change things up. You know, they could play two in midfield with a number 10, three in midfield. You know, they've got Champions League. Like, they're very good options. So that could be something that he could be looking at. But who knows, man? But he definitely does need to be playing for a better team. So I'm saying right now, United's academy is empty, bro. But again, I think that's hard to say, and I'll tell you why that's hard to say. Yeah, I mean, and guys, let's not get carried away as well. Yeah, let's not be fooled. Yeah, don't think that Arteta is not bringing on. And again, Max Dowman, you can tell Max Dowman's got something. There's no denying that. Yeah, but don't think that Arteta is not bringing on Max Dowman just so Arteta can have the tag of bringing on the youngest player ever in the Champions League. Like, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by Arteta. Like, you know what I mean? He done that on purpose just so he can be looked at as the guy that gave Max Dowman, who's the youngest player, his debut. That's what he's doing. Like, we can see what he's doing, yeah? He done the same thing with Wanyeri as well. And again, I'm not saying that these players are not good players, because they've definitely got talent, yeah? But that's more for Arteta's ego. Like, let's not be fooled here, yeah? Guys, bear me 1 minute. 1 minute. Hiya. You okay?
Need signature.
Yeah, no worries. Who's this? That's the wrong address.
June.
No, that's nice. That one is.
It's wrong.
Yeah, that's wrong. That's not it. That one is. Yeah. Unless they want me to take this parcel. You know what? They might want me to take it. It might be them. I don't know. Is that one require signature?
Yeah, I need signature.
I don't even know what that is. I mean, I can take it. It might be them over there. But...
Start again.
Yeah. Is that for that one, yeah?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Yes, guys. Sorry, man. You know, Royal Mail always come at the wrong time, you know. Always come at the wrong time. Is what it is. Yeah, guys, come on. Make sure we're smashing that like button. Make sure we're subbing to the channel. And make sure you share the channel as well, man, if you've enjoyed the content. And don't forget to put your votes in as well. I'm still surprised, guys, that we're seeing, and it's even gone up 68%, think 10 points from the next 8 games. Crazy business. David Moyes is such an overrated manager. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. So Fitz says Paqueta be gone in January. Yeah, listen, I think it's definitely a possibility, but it depends if West Ham feel they need the money or they think that they can convince him because losing Paqueta in January could be the difference between them staying up and going down. I think it's that important. So who knows, man? So the players that come in from the academy helps the team massively, especially when they are good enough. That's what's happening at Arsenal. Oh yeah, I forgot another player for Arsenal, Emil Smith-Rowe. You can put him in there if you want. Yeah, I hear that, but you've only got Bukayo Saka that's come through the youth. That's a regular. You know, Dalman and Wanyeri have got a lot of potential, but the funny thing is, yeah, what makes me laugh, the only way for Dalman and you would possibly say Wanyeri to become regular players for Arsenal is displacing one of your regulars already that's come through the youth in Saka. Because Dalman's a 10, really. Yeah, he's a 10, but that can play out from the right. So if Dalman was to become a regular, he has to take out Bukayo Saka from the team. And then Wanyeri's a 10 as well that can play out wide. He's got to take out Odegaard and Eze. So the reality is both of them are not going to be regulars. So you've only got one regular player, and that's Saka. So in the future, who knows? Oh yeah, Maitland-Niles. Okay, yeah, you can put him in if you want. Maitland-Niles. It's looking better for you guys. It's looking better. It's looking better. Maitland-Niles, you can put him in there as well. Oh, Lewis Skelly. That's the guy. Lewis Skelly. Sorry, Lewis Skelly. Listen, to be fair, you guys have had some players, man. It's not more than United's, but... Oh, yeah, Johnny Evans, we can put in there as well. Forgot about him. Another one. Big up Fitz. Johnny Evans, yeah. Bro, we can still go, man. You know, if you want to start talking about Chris Eagles and, you know, Giuseppe Rossi and that, we can do that. I don't mind. Sylvan Ebanks-Blake. I mean, these guys weren't regulars, but if we're saying absolute regulars, you know, regulars, Jonathan Greening, my lord. Jonathan Greening, you know. Jonathan Greening. Oh, man, I forgot about Jonathan Greening. That's crazy. Jonathan Greening. Yeah, mad. Yeah, man, that's crazy. Jonathan, that's thrown me off. I ain't gonna lie, man. Jonathan Greening, Jonathan Greening. Oh God, Jonathan Greening. Yeah, listen, Lewis Skelly. John O'Kane. Oh God, man, John O'Kane. Yeah, I remember John O'Kane. But again, if we're talking about regulars, you could even put Luke Chadwick in there. Luke Chadwick. You know, Robbie Savage. Obviously, Savage didn't play regularly, but yeah, we've had some players, man, from United, man, that have played regularly. It's definitely more than Arsenal's, but yeah, I mean, Lewis Skelly for me isn't really a regular now because it's quite clear that Arteta favours what's his name, Calafiori. So the only regular player you've got in your first team is literally Bukayo Saka. Again, Man United haven't got no one, and I'm looking at Man United because this manager just refuses to use the youth. You can see what this manager's on. So I'm not looking at the fact that we haven't got younger players that can come in and make an impact. Arteta is choosing to put the youth in. Maybe he's doing that because he wants to be looked at as the manager that's giving youth a chance and try and appeal to the fans. I don't know. But we have got some younger players, man. We have, Sekou Kone that was bought. If you're telling me Sekou Kone can't come and do a job in this midfield right now, you're a liar. Kobe should be in there as well. JJ Gabriel's one for the future. He's gonna be a star for the future. Shea Lacey as well. There is some players there, but this manager refuses to use them. So yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, but Kobe's only disappeared due to this manager. Because as I keep saying, you go and get a manager that wants to play a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, you'll quickly realize that Kobe's back in the team. Like, don't base it on this manager. This manager is an absolute clown. Like, he's doing a press conference right now that I'm not even gonna watch. But he's the reason why Kobe's not playing because of the way he sees football. So that's the problem. Arteta is buying him. He's buying himself excuses and time. I mean, if anyone doesn't think he's doing that, then I'm sorry, man. I'm not sure what you're on, but I guarantee you this: if he doesn't win no Champions League and no league title, which I expect, you know what I mean? You will quickly see how the fan base that have been backing him will turn, because I think this could be the penultimate season for Arteta. I don't see how once those two things happen that they don't win the Champions League and the league. I don't see how there can be any kind of justification for keeping him. So let's see, man. Let's see. Yeah, listen, trust me. So I agree, he needs to win a trophy. He does. But when you're saying he needs to win a trophy, he needs to win the Champions League or the league. FA Cup and Carabao Cup, nah. The team that he's built, the money that he's spent, and how long he's been there, he's gone past the Carabao and FA Cup. He's gone past that. So yeah, he needs to win. He definitely needs to win a Champions League or a league title. Big up to Daniela. Big up for the super sticker. Big up yourself. Big up, man. Appreciate it. You guys always showing love to the channel, man. It's much appreciated. It's much appreciated. Guys, make sure you're voting. Let's get some more votes on there. We got 25 votes. 25 votes. How many points in the next 8 games for Man United? How many points? 18 points. I think 18 points is, even I would say 18 points is, is tough, but at least your standards are high, put it that way. Not unlike a few others, because the majority are saying 10 points, man, which is laughable. But yeah, I'll turn this off, man. I can't watch this press conference. Right, guys, come on, a few more votes, and then we're going to wrap it up. Remember, make sure you smash the like button, and make sure you sub to the channel as well if you're new in there, if you've enjoyed the content. And share the channel, guys. So 4% now saying 18 points. I want to know who the 4% is, because 18 points, I know obviously I can see Ellie's in the chat, and I can see that she's put 18 points, which, to be honest with you, is tough. $15, 7% say 15. Yeah, guys, should be doing a watch along on Saturday as well for the Man United Tottenham game. Should be doing a watch along for that as well. 12:30 kickoff. TNT Sports. 3 points is a minimum, man, for me, Manchester United. They have to make sure they win that game. No excuse. And yeah, obviously live tomorrow. Should be live tomorrow at the same time. If I'm not live at the same time, then I will be live probably slightly a bit later. So yeah, just keep an eye on that. So what happened to City's 115 charges? Here we go. I'm not too sure, man. But don't worry about City's 115 charges, man. Just worry about winning a league title or a Champions League. Because, as I said, man, it's going to get very tough for you guys, man, if that doesn't happen. Very, very tough. Gav, after wearing that hat, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Yeah, make sure you're voting. Make sure you're voting. Make sure you're voting. Guys, in the chat, who thinks that Arsenal win a Champions League or a Premier League this season? Let me know what you think in the chat. Do you think Arsenal win a Premier League or a Champions League? Gav, will Sunderland finish top 10? I don't know, that's tough. I mean, the fact that they're in... I mean, I think we're expecting them to drop off anyway, but the fact that they're in... what are they now? Are they fourth or fifth? I think they might be fourth. The fact they're in the top 4 is madness in itself. So, I believe they're top 4 anyway. Will they finish top 10? I think the way they've started, man, is... You can say that, but... Again, it's only 10 games in, man. It's a long way to go. Long, long way to go. Gav, who is your favourite player You know what? I get asked this so many times, man. You know, I knew someone was gonna ask me this as well. Another question that I'll get onto in a minute, yeah. But who is my favorite player? So my three favorite players of all time, yeah. Again, I can never say one because it's unfair to leave the other two out. But my three favorite players are Ronaldinho, R9, and Messi. They're my three favorite players. You know, and then you've got the likes of Neymar, Pogba, Martial, Hazard, Paulo Dybala, Iniesta, Zidane, Adriano. Yeah, they're players that Robin, Ribery, Yamal now as well, Pedri. Yeah, the list is endless, man. The list is endless. But if I was to say the three, it's like it can't be better than Messi, R9, and Ronaldinho for me. Yeah. Opinion on Forbes getting 3J versus Barca. Yeah, so Club Brugge and Barca drew 3-3 yesterday. Carlos Forbes, if anyone didn't know, Carlos Forbes was at Wolves last season. He was at Wolves and obviously playing Champions League football now. Getting what did he get? 2 goals yesterday and an assist. Yeah, and again I believe he was at Ajax as well. I believe Carlos Forbes, but yeah, he was at Wolves. You know, Wolves would probably do with him right now. You would say, but you know what it is though. Yeah, when I look at strikers right now, I look at because the striker market is dead. Yeah, is literally dead. I think when I look at a team like Barcelona, yeah, I'm looking at Barcelona as what striker are they going to target for the future? Because Lewandowski is his last season, and the only option they've got going through the middle is Ferran Torres, who ain't even a natural striker. So I always look at what strikers are they going to look at moving forwards. You're not going to get Erling Haaland because he's on a death row contract at Man City. Harry Kane's the wrong side of 30. Isak Ekatike, they're at Liverpool on big money and bought for big money. And that's the end of the conversation. And I'm trying to tell you that the striker market is just not there. There's no strikers. There's no strikers. I look at what Barca could do with, yeah, as a striker, and someone like a Joshua Zirkzee, you know, would be ideal. You know, he's the right age. He can fit into the Barca style of play. You know, the one thing they might say is he going to get us 20, 30 goals, which can't be, which again can't be guaranteed. But again, I think, you know, when you've got goals all around that's shared out, you don't particularly need someone that's going to hit 30 goals if they're shared around, but he can contribute to their front line. So yeah, I definitely think, man, I definitely do think Xerxes an option there, you know, but the striker market's dead. And when you got Carlos Forbes again doing what he's doing, you know, you never know, man. If he can continue that, he could be another option as well. Who knows, man? What about goalkeeper and centre back? Centre, I don't really. I mean, I'm an attacker, so I look at the attacking phase, you know. But centre backs throughout the years, there has been good ones. Yap Stam, top one. You think of Van Dijk's, Sergio Ramos, ridiculous. Varane. Yeah, there's been loads, man. But I don't really focus on the goalkeeper and centre back, to be fair, because obviously, as myself, I'm an attacker. Will Rafinha re-energize Barca after he comes back from his injury? Do you know what? I actually keep forgetting Rafinha's out injured. But yeah, I mean, Rafinha since Hansi Flick has been in charge, like he's been ridiculous in terms of goals and assists and big moment. Yeah, obviously him coming up in big moments. Yeah, so. Julian Alvarez, another option. Forgot about him at Atletico. But again, he's going to cost a lot of money to get him out of Atletico Madrid. Serhu Guirassy. Guirasy's what, in his 30s? I don't see Barca signing someone like him either, if I'm honest. But yeah, the transfer market is just crazy. Gav, how do I vote on this live stream? It should be easy, man. I mean, I can't. I mean, it's the poll's right in front of me right now, so I'm guessing the poll should be showing up for you, so you can just vote on it. Just press whatever you think. I assume we got 30 votes. Yeah, 30 votes. Big up. Hansi wants Serhu Guirassy. I've not seen that. I've not seen that at all. But again, man, if they want Guirassy, then it kind of shows you, man, where the market is. Because Guirassy's decent, but you know what I mean. I'm not used to Barca signing Guirassy, put it that way. So, but guys, listen up. Big up yourselves. Gonna wrap it up now anyway. As I said, make sure you smash the like button and make sure you sub to the channel as well and share the channel. Before we wrap up, make sure you're voting as well if you haven't done so. So how many points in the next 8 games for United? Leading the way by a long way is 10 points, 57%, 12 points, 23%, 15, 10%, and 18 points, 10%. So again, 10 points is what people think is acceptable, which I'm surprised, man. I have to say I'm surprised. But again, it's your opinion, it's your vote, and that's what matters. So big up yourselves for contributing to the channel as well today. So yeah, guys, I should be back tomorrow, same time, 12:30. Obviously, we're going to get into the match preview, Manchester United versus Tottenham, for that 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. Massive game. And we're going to see how Amorim lines up, because the thing is with Amorim, he's very predictable in what he does. And I can see the exact team he's going to play. So, yeah, we'll be getting into that tomorrow. Big up to all the mods as well. Big up to all the contributions on the channel, as always. And so who do I think will win the Champions League this season? I mean, to be fair, I can't look past PSG or Barca still. You know, I can't look past them. So I think those two for sure. I'm still going to say they're going to be the front runners. But again, it's a long way to go, man. You think of what? 4 games in the Champions League so far. It's still a long way to go. 10 games in the Premier League. As I said, things are going to change. So it'll be an up and down season for a lot of teams. So we'll have to wait and see. But as I said, guys, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you sub to the channel. And again, make sure you come through tomorrow at the same time. As I said, if I'm not live at the same time, then just keep an eye on the schedule. Make sure your notifications are on as well to see when I go live. And as I said, yeah, big game for Man United on Saturday, 12:30 against Tottenham. Need the 3 points. Simple as that. So that'll be a short-term target that Ruben Amorim needs to complete. So we'll have to wait and see, guys. But yeah, big up yourselves each and every time. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take it easy.